I think everybody here has heard of the phrase, it's all about the mindset. Yeah? Okay, I'm hoping, because this would be really awkward otherwise. Okay. So this phrase is something like a mantra that we hear in self-help, in business, in sports, even in our personal lives. It's like a universal solution to life's challenges, seemingly. Now, just like the rest of colloquial wisdom, if I could call it, this phrase and its nuances only really make sense when life hits us with them. And for me, oh man, let me tell you. When I was going through my first breakup, I was in a place where I felt like I had nothing. I was nothing. And it's safe to say that one shower, that one New Year's Eve, everything changed. I found myself with an epiphany, and there's no real way to put it in words, at least my own words, any better than what the poet Rumi did in his title, Worms Waking. Now let me translate it for you here. This is how a human being can change. There's a worm addicted to eating grape leaves. Suddenly, he wakes up. Call it grace, whatever. Something wakes him, and he is no longer a worm. He's the entire vineyard. And the orchard too. The trees, the trunks, the fruits. A growing wisdom and joy that doesn't need to devour. Now what the essence of my TED Talk here today is really well encapsulated in the breadth of transformation that this poem captures. I truly, truly believe that human beings are transient. We have the capacity to become everything around us because we are everything around us. And as ever-changing as the world is, as ever-changing as reality is, so are we. Now, where does irrationality come into this? You may be wondering. Are you? Okay, cool. For me, there are ways where we can tap into becoming more aware of who and all that we truly are. And a really good first step for people, at least for my age and my experience, I've found that pursuing and entertaining irrationality tends to be a great idea. And it doesn't seem like it at first, but hear me out. When you find yourself hearing something and thinking, hey, that doesn't quite make sense, do you find yourself reacting? Or do you find yourself curious? Why doesn't it make sense? How could it make sense? And so this leads me to our well-known notion of logic. We truly believe today that the world exists on a true and false statement basis, or Aristotelian logic, as it is called. Now, when we describe the world and the truth behind the world, we use these two valued systems all the time, everywhere. And what I'm here to tell you is that there are much, much better ways, and in much better situations where you'll find yourself living life to a greater, deeper extent when you let go of trying to fix it like a problem. Like there's a way and a pathway to fixing, and like if you've lived this moment before. That is not the case. To become accepting of irrationality, that truly this moment has never happened before. We have never been in this moment at this very time, in this very place, ever. To accept that means to accept the infinite possibilities that can transpire from here. And that means that, just like I said before, we can become all of this. We can become anything. And so what I'm here to inspire more so than anything is to allow yourselves to accept the infinite possibilities of what we can perceive, what we can understand, and ultimately become. We are loving, growing awareness. That is all, and that is a lot more than you think. Now, I want to move on to certain ideas that may feel irrational at first and allow you to give you and give you guys a certain sense of newness, let's say. There's a Nigerian philosophy that a Nigerian philosopher made that's called Ibu Anidanda philosophy. And directly translated from Nigerian, of course, it means nothing is insurmountable for the ant. And when we think about common logic today, we think contradictions mean something's wrong. When we come to a set of contradictions, we find ourselves believing, hey, something doesn't add up. It's like 2 and 2 must make 4. Now, when we think of the world from a perspective where truth is devalued, it does not mean much. What matters is its place of what we are talking about, the subject. This is where everything that's contradictory becomes complementary. And this is exactly the basis of Ibu Anidanda philosophy. To find the right place for everything. Now, when Innocent Asozu, the maker of this philosophy, came up with it, he was looking at a hill of ants. And his perception drew him to the extent of things that they could do that no one could think an ant could ever achieve. To become capable of making bridges by simply coming together, to find things and food in situations so dire you could never imagine. And all of these insurmountable experiences tend to just become natural, everyday miracles. Now, again, where does irrationality come to this, right? When we find ourselves looking at the place and time for things, the right place at the right time, instead of looking at, is this the right thing or is this the wrong thing at the right time, we can tend to let go of what we find to be regretful. We can let go of things that feel as though they shouldn't happen, because we can accept and we can find ourselves in a place where everything has its own place. We can find ourselves in a place, yeah. Now, coming back to the worm, because, right, the worm looks at the world, finds himself, and understands he is the world. The same analogy goes here, and the same analogy goes for us. We are the vineyard. We are the orchard. We are all that is around us, and that's what makes us the same. But the only reason we have the capacity to be the same is because we are all individually different in every set and every manner. Just like this moment, just like the atom next to me, the invisible atom right there. It does not make me, but simultaneously, that is what makes it the same as me. We are all different, and that is what makes us the same. Now, TEDx really loves bold statements, and so I think I'll play along this time, just this time. If I could change or ask for change from the world, from the listener, from you guys, it would be, please, be irrational just once, every day, hopefully every day. You can try it out. You can be like a slow rise into it. But please, be nonsensical. Be silly. Be impulsive. Just once, every day. You see, microdosing on mindlessness is truly the simplest, the most easiest way, perhaps, or I should say, the most effective way into expanding into becoming who we truly are. Now, as much as I would like to continue talking and go into a lot more topics, because I love talking, that's why I'm on the stage, sorry, I do want to cut it right here because I could really go on for more than 18 minutes. And so I'll leave it here with my favorite quote by Søren Kierkegaard, and it goes, "Life is not a problem to be solved, it is a reality to be experienced." Thank you.